goes back to what, Randy was just really saying there about the food. And, so many times we'll get called and somebody will say that, it's not working, I can't lose anymore. I've hit a, a plateau or whatever. And it's really because of a lot of things that my sister is really going to talk about. So just a little brief there. My dad was really into this, like Todd had mentioned at the beginning of this, back in actually the 1992, really in that time frame, he really got into it. And so it's near and dear to our heart. So when this came along, we both just jumped right in, really because it fits so well with what we had already done. So I'm going to share my screen and let Cheryl take over. And I so appreciate her. And really, y'all, I think you're really going to love this segment.
And guys, I believe we're even going to learn how to make some like healthy brownies and stuff like that. Just I'm super excited to hear this segment.
All right. So I'm going to try to share.
And Cheryl, I just want to say I love your glasses.
Like my red glasses.
I love them. I love them.
Okay, well, it's really great to have a chance to talk to you. I'm not really sure, Sarah, about those brownies, but I can tell you where you can find out how to make those brownies. But anyway, I only have a few minutes, so I really wanted to hone in some things that I thought might trigger a little deeper understanding of what our choices are on foods. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you today, my thoughts did go to food, our body, and what we're made of. And then my little crazy brain actually went to the old nursery rhyme. What are little girls made of? What are little girls made of? Well, sugar and spice and everything nice. And that's what little girls are made of. And of course, can't leave the boys out. They were made of snips and snails and puppy dog tails. I know this is really out of the box, but the nursery rhyme sounds so nice. And I might have even believed that when I was a child. But what are we made of? Well, we know that we are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. And after God created man and woman, he provided perfect nutrition to maintain his perfect creation, the Garden of Eden. And so I can just imagine what that garden looked like and how beautiful it was. Perfect creation and perfect nutrition. What could go wrong? Well, we all know the story, and things went terribly wrong. So I'm going to fast forward about 6,000 plus years, they say, to 1992 and the creation of the infamous food pyramid by the USDA. They had our best interest at heart creating this, I'm sure, didn't they? I mean, you would think it's our government that would want the very best for us. But let's back up just a couple of years to the 1980s, and I'm not sure exactly what year it was, but it was in the 80s. I ask you a question. Did you know that the tobacco industry purchased the largest food companies in the world? General Foods, Kraft, and Nabisco. Interesting that the tobacco company, or the tobacco industry, who was called out for addicting so many people on their product, which we all know was detrimental and lethal to our health, found another way to addict us to their products. Now, let's jump back to the food pyramid, which is now being called out as being upside down. And I can't say that without going back to my dad again, who told me that the food pyramid was upside down when it was created. But it is being called out now as being upside down and guiding us to be addicted to sugar and ultra processed foods. These foods, along with the seed oils, which are literally a derivative of the oil industry, cause inflammation in our bodies, and our bodies are not made to digest these oils. So we all know that inflammation is the cornerstone to chronic disease. So, Jerry, the next slide. Oh yeah. So here's the kind of showing what I'm talking about here. If you look at 1970 and you look at the beach, we are what we eat. I mean, this is what the beach pretty much looked like in 1970, and now in 2024, it looks quite different. So we know that ultra-processed food, the evidence of it proved that our food has become the #1 leading cause of death worldwide, whether you're way overweight or you're not overweight. The ultra-processed food affects all of us. So you don't have to be overweight to suffer from the effects of the ultra-processed food. So I say that, but let me back it up with Dr. Kopecky from the Mayo Clinic. Quote, nutrition or food is now the #1 cause of early death and early disease in our country and in the world. So that's pretty astounding. So here is a baseline condition of America's health. And this is Dr. Casey Means, who I'm going to mention in a minute. But you can read some of those. I'm going to call out a few. Of course, 30% of teens have type 3 diabetes. In 1950, only 1% had type 2, and there was no recording of anybody having the type 3. 74% of American adults are overweight or obese. 50% of our children are overweight or obese. And this one, y'all, blows me away. 77% of our young adults are unfit to serve in the military. 50% of adults, or half the country, have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. And this one, 15% of teens have fatty liver disease, which is usually in adults in late stage alcoholism. 25% of women are on antidepressants. Fertility's been affected. Cancer is up 79% in young adults. 40% of the 18-year-olds have a mental illness diagnosis. And the last one I'm going to mention, 1 in 36 children have autism compared to 1 in 1,500 in 2000. I mean, all this just, it just blows my mind. And I'll share this with y'all today because we need to understand that we are what we eat and our food has changed. So my passion in speaking with you today is hopefully to broaden your vision of whole foods and how the right foods, along with the Slenderized drops and our health supplements, can literally transform our health and likely change the trajectory of our health. Partner Co offers the very best for us to optimize our health, but we've got to feed our bodies with foods that don't work against these amazing products. So we need some tools to help us learn the truth about food. And this one is great. I've got the book right here. It's amazing. All those stats that you saw a minute ago on the baseline condition is actually from her book. Her story and her book has kind of changed me in a lot of ways. Thinking about when I look at a food, I look at it kind of like, what is that going to do to me? And if you follow her on Instagram, or there's a really great interview with Tucker Carlson on YouTube, Sarah cooks these brownies on YouTube. It's Dr. Casey's Kitchen, I believe. But she walked away from being a surgeon because she was not healing people. She was only treating their symptoms. So I won't go into any of that, but the book is great. It stays sold out a lot, but it is really good because I believe that we need to change how we think about food. So I've heard over and over from droppers, I don't know how to cook from this approved food list. I don't really know what to buy. I don't know what to look for. So, and Liz has told me this with a lot of her droppers, people struggle with what to do with the food list, And we grew up eating very differently from that food list. So it's a huge change for us. And it's a process of new education of foods and how we can prepare them and how we can eliminate the bad ones. It's overwhelming. And I realize that, especially with all the deceptive marketing. And so we need help to be successful. So I'm going to share today a couple of tools that I have personally used that's helped educate myself on foods to feed my body. So I think I skipped along, Jerry. That'd be that slide of what Dr. K. Yeah. So this is one of the slides. I won't go into any of this, but I like this. This is 3 out and 5 in. So that gives you an idea of what we're talking about with whole foods. she says that food is molecular information for our bodies, and our bodies are literally built entirely of food. Eating is the process of transforming and assimilating that matter from the external world into our own form. So what we put into our bodies is the most critical decision for our health and happiness. So with that being said, the other tool that I use besides just trying to learn about how food affects our body, which is in this great book, I have just loved this app called Bobby Approved, and I follow him on Instagram. He's Bobby Parrish, but he does shopping and he makes suggestions of clean whole foods. I mean, he's just has so much information to share. So this tool is with me all the time. I carry this in the grocery store. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there's a little scan button right down here, and I've got a loaf of bread. You can actually scan that little code right there, and let's see, let me do it real fast. It scans really fast. So it's not Bobby Approved, it's good old Sara Lee butter bread. It's really good though, isn't it? So it goes down here, and I don't know, can y'all see this? There's all these listed in red. I think Jerry might even have a slide on that. Jerry, if you want to, yeah, see down there. And so, yeah. So then this is telling what's in this butter bread, and you see everything in red. That would be a reason for you not to get that. And it also, why is the product not approved? And it tells why. And when you read some of those, you go, oh my goodness. I mean, you really think, I can't put this in my body. I mean, if you look over there to the left, you see why. So this app is amazing. Now, the other great thing about this app, if you scroll on down, he's going to give you some alternatives on a different bread that would be better and not have these harmful or I call them negative products in them. And I asked Jerry last night, I said, how many breads do you think would be alternative to, that he would show? Well, I counted them last night, and he's got 100 breads listed that are alternatives. I know not everybody's looking for bread if you're in the weight loss phase, but your family usually are eating bread. Children eat bread. Occasionally I do. So it's just great information. The slide, Jerry, I want you to go back real quick to the spinach tortillas. I want to show y'all another example. I was hoodwinked on this. I really thought, look at that spinach on there. It's gluten-free. It's no artificial flavors. And then when you read all of the stuff in it, you won't go, wow, there's so many colors, those dyes in there, this vegetable shortening. It's just sunflower oil, yellow 5, aluminum lake, blue 1, aluminum lake, natural flavor, which it said it didn't have on the front. Sugar. I mean, I had these and I showed them at a cooking party that Sheila and I did because I wanted to show everybody how this app can help you. Because if you looked at the front of that, which is a lie, and then you read the back, you probably wouldn't buy that. But most of us, and before I dove deeper into what's really in stuff, I would have looked at that, and that would have been the one I picked. So I encourage you to maybe download this app and take it shopping with you. Now, it may be a little overwhelming to go around, and I go around in Aldi and I can scan things, and I'm not a busy mom with little children, and so I might have a little more time to do that. But I will tell you that it will educate you quickly. You won't even have to scan it once you start learning it. After you've done it several times, you'll see what you don't that you don't need to buy even without scanning that app. Okay, Jerry. Okay, I think I'm going on down. I wanted to tell y'all too about one other thing about Bobby, and I know he really doesn't have anything to do with Partner Co, but he just helps us as a tool in our quest to find these products. He is on Instagram and he does reels, and he is in Costco or Aldi or Sam's or Walmart, and he is going around and he's showing you. He might show you something that's not why it's not good, and but here's this alternative. If you see that those sweet potato chips there in the middle are made with coconut oil instead of the seed oils, and all of these products are healthy products that are good for our body. And the great news is a lot of these stores are carrying more of these products because I think our conscientious shopping is forcing them to, but there's just more people looking for help because we are so sick from all these ultra processed foods. So this app, I can't recommend it more because it has helped me so much just become educated on what I'm looking for in food that I buy. Of course, you know, the best things of all are the fruits and fresh fruits and vegetables, but sometimes we have to have some of this other stuff, and it's really good. I mean, if you look down there, there's a 90-second quinoa and brown rice, and I'm pretty sure that's on our approved food list. It's ready in 90 seconds. It's delicious. You can throw it in some sauteed vegetables and you got a whole meal. I mean, my goal and Sheila for trying to have these cooking classes is to show that if you shop and find some good ingredients that you can, the cooking of the things on the approved food list don't have to be so hard because, you know, we're not making casseroles that have 20 ingredients in them. So really cooking whole foods and things that have good ingredients in them is really pretty fast. We just got to learn what those things are and where to find them. Let's see, Jerry, I might have got off track just a little bit. Yeah, let's see. So, you know, really, I just want my friends, and this is why we did this cooking class here. I just want my friends and family and our droppers to be successful. And so, but we need tools for that. And those are the two things that I wanted to share with you. So in closing, I hope you're encouraged and feel even more convinced that we need clean, whole foods to feed our bodies. And the result will be obvious. You will feel better when you put clean, whole foods in your body. And then combine it with the drops and the other supplements, and you will accelerate your transformation. So I'll close you with a quote from Dr. Casey Means. She's my hero. She says, "So eat as much unprocessed local food from healthy, thriving soil as you can. Your life will transform for the better, and many of your problems will melt away." So that's what I have today.
Thank you.
Cheryl.
Thank you. Yes. So guys, I see in the chat, everyone's wanting to know what was the app that Cheryl was talking about. It is called Bobby Approved Food Scanner. It is for both Apple and Android. So you can go to the Apple Store or the Google Store and get that. And then
It's free.
also, yep, it's 100% free. And then also the lady who wrote the book, the doctor, is Dr. Casey Means, and you can find her on Instagram at Dr. Casey's Kitchen, all together, all lowercase on Instagram.
Right. And I wanted to say, I left this out, but Dr. Casey Means' book came out right at the time that Robert F. Kennedy got the attention of America's children and their health. What's wrong? Why are children so sick? So it's so exciting that this has kind of been a perfect storm, and that he's bringing attention to these food industries and help and wanting them and calling them out to clean up some of these toxins, because our food system is toxic. And so hopefully, and I'm praying that that's going to happen now with what he's doing and Dr. Casey's book. It's just all working together. So hopefully we're going to have even more choices and cleaner food systems.
I just want to say thank you, Cheryl. I don't know if y'all know, but Cheryl is mine and Liz Thurmond's sister-in-law. And she has been our biggest cheerleader. Liz and I both have struggled with our weight loss for years. And Cheryl has always encouraged us and tried to, sometimes we wouldn't listen. We just like, don't talk to me about food. But she kept on and she kept loving on us. So encourage your people, be like a Cheryl, and encourage your friends, your family to eat right, to make the right choices. So again, thank you, Cheryl, so much for sharing your knowledge with us.
Absolutely. And I thank you too, because I thought that was one of the different segments. You know, we've done a lot of training on here, but we really have never pulled up the label and said, okay, eat off the food list. We all know that, right? And that's so good. But then, like she said, that label is so misleading. We got a text this morning. Well, I'm not really promoting the drops because I've hit a plateau, Well, I guarantee you, if she read her labels, then we could see what was going on. And that's what's happened before and time and time and time again. Victoria this morning gave an awesome testimony, and, right off the bat, it was the labels. I'm eating healthy. This says healthy on it. Well, turn it around, and it was maltodextrins and sucroses and, all that stuff. And, it's hidden. They hide it from you. And another thing too, that really gets me is right now, commercial farming. And hey, I love our farmers, and I've got a garden. I love to farm. Okay. But when they take a tomato that's naturally, this big around, and they make it into a jumbo celebrity or whatever, well, at the end of the day, the nutrition is still only this big. So that's why Dr. Strand says nowadays we're only getting like 68% of the nutrition that we got just 20 years ago. So, they're stripping that out of our food supply, and it's so important to what she has done. So I really hope y'all take notes. And look, I know Sarah's going to break that segment out. I see Nancy taking notes, but I appreciate that. I know, she's going to have to take and really refer that segment to so many people, because it really can help them. And I was tickled to get that on the thing. And I know time's flying by, and we got some more to get to. But look, if y'all have any questions or any comments, whatever, drop them in the chat. We've got several people working the chats, wanting to kind of take care of everything. I do love this format.